Hello everybody, we are back once again for another podcast. This is episode 93 of the Contest Round podcast. Still name to potentially change. It's in discussion. But hey, we're available SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes podcasts, all the podcasts for you to listen into your ear things and enjoy on a weekly basis. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Dan of Frontline MCOC, who you can find at frontlinemcoc.home.blog and as well under the Twitter handle at Frontline MCOC. I nearly called you something then. I was under the... that would be really rude as a start. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Rich. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's been a new week, and it's been a hectic one. How's your week been in IRL and in-game?
In real life, very busy. Just trying to keep my head above water, making some progress on the home improvement front.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Because
you said you were doing some work, weren't you, last week?
Yeah, doing some work. Got a new lawnmower. Got the lawn mowed. Still working on a second working bathroom, and hopefully my second attempt at installing a screen door handle this weekend is fruitful because the last one arrived without all the box of parts for the handle.
That's not helpful.
There's no handle in the door, which is kind of lame right now. Of course, seeing Doctor Strange tomorrow. So at least there's something big to look forward to.
Yes, that we'll have to review that next week then, because I'm seeing it today, and you'll see it tomorrow. And then perfect. Next week we'll have a dissection. Depending on what happens, we might have to discuss whether or not we do a full episode devoted to it. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see the extent of it.
No, I'm excited. Trying to stay away from those spoilers for another 36 hours or so.
God, yeah, that's such an important thing. Right, well, we've had a new update in MCOC. Well, lots of little kind of like tidbits of information, and Kabam are going to be changing in different areas. We've had offers go out to everybody. Everybody gets an offer for stuff if you haven't even completed stuff. The game is crashing left, right, and centre. Just as we're recording right now, I just had a big moment where I struggled to connect into the game. Inputs were apparently fixed, even though the beta just gone out to people, and Kabam were like, "Oh, we fixed it," though you haven't really had it for that long, so they prefixed it. Oh, there's so much to go over. So where should we begin, Dan?
Oh man, it's hard. I mean, this update has so much. I feel like you just listed a bunch of stuff, and I'm sure there was other items that were an issue with this update. I mean, this really feels, I don't want to say this is like the worst update ever, because there's definitely been like worse ones, like the overheating the phone ones. I personally think was the worst one ever. Yeah. And there's been updates where, say, like a content launch was like really, really scuffed and like really messed up the month, like say Mutant Treasure Island.
Yes.
But as far as like Death by 1,000 Paper Cuts, like did not seem ready for prime time. Like 30.0 is up there. I mean, as soon as it launched, I was getting messages, and it feels like it hasn't ended all week. Like immediately, like the Thronebreaker crystals disappeared if you got Paragon. Like you said, I think my game has crashed more times this week than I can remember. Like it is, you can't play the game for a consistent amount of time without eventually running into a crash.
Yeah. I think I remember
that's really rough. The crashing is really rough.
Yeah, I remember doing a live stream on Tuesday with my Act 7 100% opening, and we had like a moment where it's just like the crystal was just spinning and spinning, and I was just like, well, this is meant. What is this meant to be? This is just so annoying. And then when I've come in to do some of the content that's gone live on Wednesday, and then coming into Thursday, and as I say, even today, it's just if it's not the connecting into content, it's battle lag, or it's the I don't know if like the way that input refractor's kind of like playing some, I don't know, silly things with it. It's just not very good, Dan. It's not very consistent.
Yeah, it's kind of all of the above.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just it's just not good. And then of course, this is I think we had one of the ultimate Kabam like problem begets a new problem issue this week with the deal, right?
Yeah.
The 10K 7 exploration deal returning. Now this was something that was planned.
Mm-hmm.
Now the history of this, of course, being that it was in the Paragon math before people were told it was in the Paragon math, so people had passed on the deal. There's like, oh, like if you expected us to buy this deal to get Paragon, we would have done it, but you didn't tell us. Like, so we'll bring it back just for you guys that passed on it. But of course, everybody got it.
Yes.
And then it was there, and then it wasn't there, and then they were like, the genie's out of the bottle. We got to bring this back.
Yeah. This takes, in a nutshell, for me, I'm bigger than this. I'll kind of I'll go on with my life because I don't care as much with stuff to feel like offended or annoyed with stuff that Kabam do. But I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit pissed off the fact that this offer has been like re-rolled again, and the amount of effort I had to do in a very short space of time, and causing me a little bit of burnout. Not completely, I had other stuff on, but I felt a little bit burnt out having to kind of race to get it at 10,000 units to then find
I had to do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
it was a stressful evening.
Yeah. And it's having to do this. And as I said, I'm a pretty positive guy. I will go, I am pissed off, and I'm going to move on, and I've got my other plans of how I'm going to achieve my Paragon titleage. But then to just, number one, throw it out to everybody to grab, who, not to say people don't work hard in MCOC, but I still worked hard to achieve, same way with you, Dan, you work hard to kind of do this, to grab the units, to go through the completion of a load of content. It's not massively difficult, but still you have to put the time and the grind in. So it's the time and effort to go, oh, here's this offer. And then it's everybody gets this offer. And then it's right, well, and then we got to re-roll it again. It's well, it's a bit embarrassing for Kabam.
I think that's the word of the week for me is embarrassing. I was just thinking, if I was working there, if I was in their shoes, dealing on the with these issues on the other side, this long list of issues with this update, I'd be pretty embarrassed. I don't want to call people out or that's not my style, or call people names or whatever, but I think it was a really disappointing update because there was just so much about it that just lacked finish, right? And then there was you talked about the whole thing, compensation stopped, but that message wasn't supposed to go out, but then we got additional context of well, this is actually the last compensation, and now everyone's got to opt into the beta for the input refractor. So it's there was just nothing crisp about this update. Other stuff, Storm's PI was bugged. And I guess Wong, I don't know the issue with Wong, but Wong there's something wrong, with Wong at the launch. I don't know if they fixed that yet. Thankfully,
there was
he's not in any crystals yet.
Block proficiency, that was one thing.
It was the block proficiency. Yeah,
84%.
He had 4%. Which is, he's just blocking everything with that Mystic Shield. It's pretty sweet. It's a good shield, Rich.
Yeah,
he learned that in Camertage. He's blocking everything.
Yeah, I think he took it down to 64% from the 84% or something. It was I was thinking, oh, this is going to be interesting, and then all of a sudden it's it's not. The input message, the input kind of fix was a bit of a weird one, because I think it was what was it? Everybody at the launch of the update, which was was it Monday or Tuesday? I think it was Monday, wasn't it?
Monday, yeah.
Yeah,
Monday.
So based on the message that we got, so it was Monday, was it? Yeah, Monday 2nd, was when the update went in. The message which was control inputs beta test went in. Well, for me, I saw it on 12 or midnight, just after midnight on Tuesday 3rd. So I think the way that some of these messages go out, they may go out to you in America and different times in, like, say, Asia countries. Like it will go out at different times. But then that gives like 24 hours of beta. It's just so weird, this whole situation of that's why I made the video. Did I make the video Tuesday or Monday? I can't remember when exactly it was. But what the point I'm going to get to is, like, that's very presumptuous from Kabam to say that following the positive reaction to our new input system that is currently in beta. I think it's not really been out for that long. How do you say positive reaction to, like, is that based on what us and the CCP have reviewed it? Because I got to be honest, like, inside thing is that at the end of the first run of the beta, we got a kind of a Summoner Sanctum type thing, and we were able to give feedback on it. Second one, I didn't receive one. I don't know, did you receive one?
I've done so many of those. I honestly don't remember. I know I gave some feedback, but I don't remember if it was one of the Summoner Sanctum things.
Yeah, so I did like this, and that was just like, that was an internal CTP one. So I did the first one, but for the second beta, when they did a new one for us in test, like, I didn't personally see it. But now it's like a point where they were like, okay, we're fine with this, so we're gonna, like, here you go, here's this in all its glory, and also we've preempted that it's going to be fixed. So we're like, okay, well, it's from Kabam's standpoint, it's done. Let's put it out. Which I still find a little bit strange that this hasn't been given a longer time to road test within the global.
Yeah,
And they're like, okay, well, we're kind of fine with this as it is. Let's roll it out. But then the issue for me is, like, looking at some of the forums, and like I'm doing a new show that's going to be out on Friday that kind of looks into a load of, like, feedback information that seems to be ultimately, I'm not going to say ignored. I don't know. Some people would say that Kabam ignores some stuff, but they will see other things. But then it's like, well, if they are, they should be seeing this to kind of understand, well, where players are at with stuff. You know, there's one player here saying that lots of drop frames and lag, some dexing and blocking mistiming, specials and heavies covering too much distance or covering an inconsistent distance, getting stuck blocking sometimes where it won't let me re-parry or dex. But that's one person, but then there's multiple people. I'm scrolling down and I'm seeing people giving feedback and looking at what problems they're seeing. I'm seeing people in Arena talking about their experience from grind to grind, talking about responses, and all this stuff has been in the last several days.
Right.
And then Kabam Mike did actually respond to a thread saying that, thank you for reporting this. We've reported to the team for investigation. But then where are we up to a point of saying what feedback is with controls versus what the message in-game is now? From what I gather, there was a message that went out last 24 hours saying it's fine and we're putting it into the running order of the game by 35.0.1. So I'm very confused about all of this as to, just what's going on.
Yeah, it's tricky, like you said, and for something that's been going on for so long, that you'd think they'd take a little more time with the beta of this, because I have heard such a range of opinions on this. Like, I think my controls have been fine since we've been on the input data beta. I like. And I'm on an iPhone 8, so I'm on a little bit of an older phone and an Apple device. But, I don't think my issue's been inputs. I think, there's definitely been some lag and some crashing with this update, which is not the same thing as input issues. But I have heard other people who straight up said, like, I'll go into a fight and my controls are turned off. Yeah. Like, not lag or not like, oh, I meant to dex and I blocked. Like, just like, the controls just don't control. Sometimes you don't know what's going to happen, which seems like a pretty big problem. But it, obviously, like, devices and things like that matter. But like, there's and I've heard that from people, like, content creators, like people that I believe without seeing it. Like it's not just random posts on Twitter of like it's broken. Like it's like some pretty detailed like descriptions of what's going on. So that leads me to believe it's not a universal fix yet.
Yeah, and I don't know what there's loads of specifics to this as to like, okay, is this a device specific problem? I mean, for me, the biggest problem that I had between the input beta 1 that we did for the CCP and the input beta 2 for the CCP was the ability to dex back and go into a block stance.
Yes.
Now, in essence, when you look at the animation, if you kind of like, not that anybody should really focus on this because it may mean that you'll absolutely eat damage to the face. I like to kind of like test the input, like if you like tap block with like thumb kind of like on the screen where your champion is to kind of like block and see how kind of like the animation is it quick enough, is it kind of responsive enough. And one of the big things is that sometimes you might want to, I'm not saying you have to have this play style because it's not really important, because a lot of people would say, okay, well, if you are swiping back, you may want to be on the front foot with an aggressive intercept, which is quite important for certain fights, like in Act 7, some of the boss fights. But one thing I was trying to do was test, okay, when I was doing the inputs, stuff that has a minute, not error for kind of not engaging, but when you are trying to go, okay, well, I need to refresh the fight, not refresh the fight, but you want to focus on the fight a bit more. I would swipe back, go into a block stance, kind of see what the enemy is doing, and then kind of swipe back from a block break to then come back in again. But when I was finding I was dexing back and going into that block, it wasn't engaging. And this wouldn't be a case of going, oh, so after a parry, I do that, or after a special attack, I would do that. There was just instances where it just wasn't working. But I am finding as well that after a 5-hit combo, sometimes I'm not able to kind of not synchronize, kind of like end that combo with a like a special attack, and that's something that's kind of like it's kind of come up recently. So there's lots of little things that I think come up from time to time of how that input system works to a point of what next? What next for consistency with it? So it's just really finding out what Kabam are, and how Kabam are dealing with a lot of these input issues that players are seeing on the various different types of devices. Because I just don't think we're there yet, but I don't really know what to say of that. And then that's down to Kabam, because if Kabam say, look, we feel that this is good and we're shipping it, then it's like a rock and a hard place with it.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel from the messaging like they've decided it's time to move on, which for the people that are still having issues, it's troubling. Like, here you go through like your list of things. Like I would say the one issue that I could clearly say is better for me now that this beta is in effect is I'm doing much less blocking or parrying when I'm intending to dash back.
Yes,
like that's been the thing that was really troublesome, because there's nodes that punish you. Like if you're have one of those nodes that like reflects the parry stun, you're not trying to do that. You don't want to do that unintentionally. So yeah, that's like the big thing that's been fixed for me. But I don't know. It's really tough to say unless you have like a bunch of different devices to test the game on. Yeah,
there was one thing that I was just thinking of. I'm still getting a case of when I try to. This happens, I think, once per fight, or maybe twice per fight. Is when I've gone for what I thought was a parry, I end up doing a block first, and then on the second medium hit of the enemy, it turns into a parry. And I'm like, I didn't re-click my kind of like thumb down on my screen, but I'm still in a block stance. It's a very weird thing. I don't know if it's happened to you before.
I know. I can't imagine. I can't remember anything like that happening.
No, it's weird because you're like, right. So by the enemy hitting, like they would basically do like a medium hit, No, it'd be either medium or the second light hit, and it turns into a parry. And for the entirety of it, I've got my block up. I'm like, okay, weird, because you're like, oh, that was a well-timed block. No, it was a parry. It's a standard block. No, it's a block, but it's a parry. And I'm like, what is going on with the game when it comes to like these consistencies of the fight? I do always think that Kabam should revisit how AI and controls are with the game. It should be like an ongoing thing each month to kind of go, like, how are we performing? Because simply just leaving the game like it is means that Kabam aren't constantly looking into the bigger picture. The game's a fight game. It's like if you have like Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Gods Among Us, like it's just a constant reevaluating how these two key factors to a fighting game that we play are working. Because you just want to know that when you're playing the game, it flows well, it's responsive, enemy AI is intuitive, but at the same time fair and stuff like that. Like I get a little bit annoyed because what was it doing? Was it map 8? It was AQ this week, and having to wait 2 minutes for an SP1 to be thrown, and then you kind of like, right, well, I'm not doing anything more here, so I'll build up the SP2, see if the champion throws. I think it was a Daredevil, for God's sakes, and wasn't even throwing the second SP2. And then it was like, I was coming close to timing out with, and I just like, right, well, there's nothing, like, I'm not going to spend 2.5 minutes waiting for a champion to throw a special attack, and ended up just just as I timed out being hit by an SP3. And it was like, this is so not fun. So this is why I kind of think that Kabam should always revert to looking each and every month into controls and just to reevaluating where they are. Maybe even get like more Summoner Sanctums about controls for the game, and also like deal with AI, because it's just not fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's I imagine their meetings were not the best this week.
No, not at all with that.
Probably a little rough.
No,
probably a little rough.
We've got was it Storm's PI that went at a 20% loss, which is, there's just so many weird.
I mean, that's
things.
one of those like annoying things, but it's, we're just like, we're buffing her, and then it like I was getting these screenshots like, why did her PI go down like 1,500 points? How's this a buff? I was like, that can't be right.
No, I mean, it's the Crossbones situation all over again.
Yes, yeah, Crossbones. Well, Crossbones was the other way, right?
Yeah.
Crossbones got the beefy PI for a little bit there.
Love it. Okay, we've got to move on now and talk about Battlegrounds, because that's returned back, hasn't it? Well, no, it's returning back on a 9th. So that's good.
Returning back on Monday.
But there's a few kind of like iffy butts with it. And where do we start off with the iffy butt, Stan?
Well, I think this one's going to be a little bit different because it's 4 weeks, and it's broken down into like it's broken down into 7-day increments with some of the objectives. And we're going to have a different buff each week. So week 1, Masochism. Week 2, Power Snack 2. Week 3, Safeguard. Week 4, big question mark to be announced. So stay tuned. Now, this time they're breaking out the Battlegrounds store.
Yeah.
So a new store, new currency, trophy tokens. So you can earn trophy tokens by playing matches and by winning matches. You spend them in the store. The store is tiered based on your progression level. Nothing is Paragon restricted yet, so that's good news for those of us who aren't there. Nothing super spicy. There's some T5CC in there for Cav players, which is pretty good. As a Thronebreaker, the 6-star Sigstone is what I will be spending my trophy tokens on.
Yeah.
But it really just comes down to like, what do you want and how many matches do you got to do to get that stuff? Because the final objective is 30 Battleground matches in 7 days that you win. So you got to win 30 matches in 7 days, which probably means you need to play like 60.
Yeah.
So that is, 8.5 matches a day. If you're a completionist, that seems that's a good amount of battlegrounds.
Mm.
So I don't know how doable that is. The quick math on the Sig Stones, if you want to get the 10 6-star Sig Stones, you need 3,900 trophy tokens in 7 days. So you probably need to win 20 matches
Mm.
in a week to max out your 10 6-star Sig Stones. So even that's a lot, because
Yeah.
like you can't, you can control, like, you can play your 10 matches in 48 hours and guarantee that, but you can't guarantee yourself wins.
No.
So I definitely think there's a potential for some people to burn themselves out on Battlegrounds if they're trying to do everything, because those numbers seem big.
The biggest problem with it, and it's good. It's good that Kabam have like allowed themselves to put in a chase goal
Yeah,
for
no, I'm
this.
I'm excited that 6-star Sig Stones are in there. Like that is about as heavily monetized an item as there is in the game.
Especially for Thronebreaker, because like even if you kind of you're losing and you go on a losing streak, and it's the thing, like I could literally just like throw my champions in there just to kind of like lose. I did talk about this in the video on Friday about sandbagging, and it's quite funny because like here's the thing, right? It's people will do it. People will just throw in like teams in there just to lose, just to get the trophy tokens that they need, and you will be able to get some alright stuff even by losing. But I'm not advertising go out and just lose just for sake of it, because you might want to win like a few, or try to win a few, because the amount of trophy tokens you get is a higher volume, therefore isn't too much of a problem. I guess the problem really comes with the 45 units for full recharge and the amount of energy that will have to be spent in order to achieve the wins that you need to over the length of time, especially 7 days, if you don't have anything on in MCOC at this time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't see myself using units to refresh
No.
based on what's in the store. Like that seems like a high cost.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I could recommend doing that. Like personally, like I really like Battlegrounds. It's super fun. I enjoy a game or two a day
Hmm.
when it's active, and I think that's what I'm gonna keep it to. And I will buy those 6-star Sig Stones as I can, but I'm not gonna stress about it, because I
Yeah.
don't think that is worth it.
Yeah. That is probably what I'm gonna do as well, if I get some time to do it. I'm kind of focused on like where I'm gonna sink my time into this. Like maybe I have the odd game, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll kind of like Karina's challenges are my focus at the moment to get champions ready for that. So I may kind of go as soon as I've got the 6 stones. I may go and look to grab some of the other rank up resources if I'm looking a bit low. But apart from that, like it's.
Which Karina's challenges are you looking at?
So my next one is Heroes and Foes, and that's the 6.3.1, I want to say. So I'm working on getting my an Ultron up to rank 4, potentially rank 5, and then kind of like padding out the team a little bit more,
Okay,
and
yeah.
then
So
going
that's
in.
new Avengers and villains.
Yeah.
So you're going for that tier 3 alpha chunk.
Yes, and then I'll be going for more chunkier ones in like Labyrinth and that kind of way, or I'll be going maybe the Labyrinth route. I don't know. It depends on how many kind of revives and health potions I've got to spare, because I need to do this by I can't touch my units because I need to
Yep.
then grind for July 4th and preparation for
That's the trick.
yeah, because it's either going to be Eternity of Pain is going to give me the volume of, because it's all down to sums and spreadsheets, unfortunately, with this, as to like
Yep.
my route to get Paragon. And will it be a case that as soon as Eternity of Pain is done, that I'll have enough on the first time it comes round? I'm gonna okay. Well, after week 4 or whatever, it's gonna be there for me to get close. Do I need to do certain Karina's challenges as a definite? Can I avoid one? Do I have to do the completion of Volume 2? There's so many variables to consider, and then with July 4th deals and what we get from the side quest, how it all adds up and things. So it's
I think I've been looking at the same kind of. It's probably the same calculus you're having. Is like, how do I get the little bits of the rank 4 resources I'm going to need to get the rank 4s?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be pretty close after I 100% 7.3, but I'm going to be a little short for both. So, looking at it, like, I'm probably going to end up doing that same one that you're talking about, the new heroes and foes, and probably like the Revolution one, which is like the Thor Ragnarok team that has the tier 6 basic. So that'll probably be a nasty fight with the Grandmaster there, but we have to do what we have to do, Rich.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that will probably get me my first rank 4. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking like that's going to be the path. I'm going to have to double check the math when I get there, but I believe 100%ing 7.3 and those 2 Karina challenges will get me my first rank 4, and those seem like the 2 easiest challenges because the other ones would require Abyss.
Yes.
Don't know that that's in the cards quite yet.
Exactly. I probably will if I have to. I will do the Abyss Screen Goblin fight because that's the process in which to get to them. Or I will go down because I've got like a path to do. I think I can do like Iron Man Infinity War that I need to do with it. So it could be good. It could be good. Too much planning with this. It's just too much planning.
And do you have you settled on like your first rank 4 that you get to choose?
I've already got that already. That's my...
Oh, you've already got that.
Yeah, so I got Doctor Doom because I from the Grandmaster Gauntlet because why hasn't that come back? That's a thought, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it'll return. It's been almost a year, right?
Yeah,
not quite. When was that out? September?
Yeah, I think
August,
it was like
September.
No, it was earlier now. I think it was like June time, like early June.
All right.
But the thing is, that's something that did you do the completion of that one?
I think I just did the completion. I didn't do the full exploration.
See, that's the one that I kind of like did, and it was like great because it was like a real big roster stimulation for a point of like rank up resources and preparation for rank 4 stuff. And that's the thing that kind of like allowed me to get some gains. So for me, I'm nearly I've got the cosmic rank up gem. I'm still making decisions about who I'm ranking up. I'm either going to do rank 4 Cosmic Ghost Rider or rank 4 Medusa. So that's going to be interesting if I do that. That'll be my next choosable, but I've got... that'll be my next Cosmic one. Next rank 4, and then I've got the choosable. Next choosable. I don't know where that's going to come. It seems like I've nearly got one tier 6 basic. And I've got halfway... Yeah, half... No, not halfway, like 1/3 of a way to a tier 3 alpha. So it's like it still feels like it's a long way off, but Karina's challenges all the way, and July 4th deals, and Eternity of Pain.
Right. Yeah. So there is, that's the nice thing, right? Like I think a lot of us are feeling the pressure of like the game moving forward, and we talk about prestige and things like that for if you're playing map 8, like even if you're not in like the absolute top, like the topic does come up. So I do think there's a lot of pressure to move forward the next couple months. The good thing, like you said, is there's going to be some opportunities to make some moves between the deals, between things like Eternity of Pain, and there's little chunks in the side quests now. So at least there's starting to be a path forward, which is good.
Yeah, I think from a since going non-spending, I definitely feel like the pressure to try and get further and quicker. And I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm working as hard as possible.
I
with
hear
it.
you.
But then that's the problem, isn't it? Like I'd need to grind more into like units for deals. I would need to kind of get roster ready, like 5 stars. Like I'm still debating with the fact like should I be going into doing Karina's challenges with rank 4 5 stars, and I'm like, well, I probably saved myself a few revives, a lot of revives by having rank
Right.
5 stars. Like I did what was it? The one with Doc Ock in 6.3.3, and
Yep.
by having a 565, man, that was great. That 565 Doc Ock saved me so much hassle with revives. It was just really, I think, where was the problems? Problems were with Bishop and Electro with it, because ain't nobody gonna avoid the kind of like terrible annoying damage and stuff, and a little bit with the boss. But apart from that, the main path was just smashed through with on combo party with Doc Ock, and I found that very kind of like enjoyable. But if I didn't have the 565 version, I probably would have felt like, okay, with the rank 4s taking damage through the block, if I compare like how variants went as well, like in variants, like if you got a rank 4 5-star, you're getting a lot of damage through the block. Not to say you should block all the time, but it's like I wanted
It's
also
unavoidable at some point.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, I don't want to start taking that little chunk, because then it just like your health starts dwindling down. And you're kind of like, if you've got loads of level 1 revives, then saying 20% recovery on health with a 565 versus a rank 4, it's like, well, I kind of feel like, right, that gives me a little bit of a buffer, not a super amount, but it's like it's every little counts with that particular fight.
And sometimes it's just about getting out of the fight quicker.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like,
the thing.
There's less chance of something going wrong when you've got those higher attack values. So.
Yeah, that's another point as well. I forgot to use boosts. I must admit. I think I've got to remember that whenever.
You got a boost, Rich.
Yeah.
Use those boosts.
Or did I use it? I can't remember. Maybe I use like a 10% or whatever boost through certain parts. But yeah, definitely right. You definitely got to remember to boost to kind of like make it a bit more enjoyable. And I think I'll definitely do that when the one you mentioned about the Revolution one. The Revolution has begun.
Yes, I do like those themed ones.
Yeah,
but I do have those. I do have. I think I have them all at 6 stars. I have Hulk Ragnarok at rank 3 for 6 stars. So maybe he'll put in some work there.
Yeah, I was just checking. Oh, you can have them at 6 star. Yeah, I've got.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good then, because that means that you can have. Can you have double the amount of those?
Yeah, you can bring a full 5, because it says. Where is it?
With only Hulk Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok, and Korg in your team.
Yeah, so you could bring you could even well, you can't bring 4 stars because it's Act 6, but yeah, you can bring 5 and 6 stars for that one.
Can you double up or?
Yeah, so you can double up. Yep.
I think I didn't really consider that. It's kind of like the first time really kind of looking into that one. But yeah, I've got a Thor Ragnarok 5-star and 6-star, which is great. Korg wise, I think I've only got like a 5-star version. 5-star version for that, and then Hulk Ragnarok. I want to say that I do not have. I have the 5-star, but I don't have 6-star.
I want to see a nice Korg takedown of the Grandmaster from you, Rich.
Oh, that'll
only take like 2 hours.
Yeah, I think for that one I'm probably going to go Thor Ragnarok with it, but we'll have to see with that one. I think that's really it for MCOC, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think that's where we're at.
We've covered the good and the bad and the ugly with that one. Now we've got to go over to something very important, which is Moon Knight finale.
Yes, our Moon Knight has come and gone so quickly. I feel like we're just getting started with this guy. I hope there's another season. I think we talked about this last week. A lot of loose ends to tie up. ending for me did feel a little rushed. Although
Yes.
I'm satisfied with where we got to, and it did leave me wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in a way, it kind of feels, like I said, it kind of feels like we're just getting started here. But I want to jump to the end, because
Yeah.
I feel like that's what everyone was talking about. Like that episode, like whatever you felt about that episode, I think you definitely like went up a level after that post credit scene, because that was
Yeah.
a really good post credit scene.
Yeah, because it gave us hope that it was actually going to continue on. I must admit, as soon as the episode
Right. Yeah.
finished, I was thinking like, well, that was an ending. That was a thing. And I was like, well, where do we go from here? This is all kind of weird because we end how we start. But just having the scene in the limo where what is it? This is basically is it the afterlife of I really don't know where we are.
Yeah, I don't. That's the thing, is like you don't know what was real and what was like. Was Harrow really like in some sort of institution, and that was like real, real Jake that went to go get him with Khonshu in the limo. Like Khonshu in the limo, I don't know why I found that so hysterical, but it was so like Egyptian god, like mob boss kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like, yep, no, I'm taking you out, and then we really get to see Jake there for the first time, because it's always been a blackout.
Yeah.
When Jake does his nastiness. So.
I'm looking at the scene. I'm thinking, right, the last time we were here, we were in the afterlife. So are we in Harrow's afterlife? And this was the Jake. I'm thinking like, wasn't the Jake personality left on the boat or in the afterlife the same way that Stephen would have be left in the afterlife, because he was then, and we'll come back to that bit in a minute. But yeah. I'm like, well, he was in the sarcophagus, and he was rattling around. The personality was in there, so he got out. But then, there's a lot of things I'm really unsure about where we are with that particular element to it. Are we in the afterlife with Jake and Khonshu, or are we in real life? Because the real in the kind of the real life, Jake is still manifesting, because he manifested at the end battle.
Right.
So
I don't know. I think we were in real life. Right. The post credit. That's my read on it. But with this show, you don't know.
Yes.
Although I wouldn't mind if we're. I don't know. I kind of wish Ethan Hawke's character was still like around. Well, I guess this show, they could resurrect people, right?
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I enjoy that character. I thought there was still more to do with that character. Like that was it's like, like I wasn't ready for him to be taken off the board. I really thought Ethan Hawke did a great job with that character, and I would like to see more of his Arthur Harrow.
Even to the end, he became quite vicious when he was given when he became the Avatar.
Yes.
He started kind of like really moving, and as well with all that glass in his sandals and fighting with sandals. That's a very impressive fight sequence. So where do we kind of like we'll go back to the start now, and Mark's like, right, well, I need to go back for Stephen, which I thought was it's nice. That kind of like shows that Mark Spector has heart.
Right, and that he sort of realizes he's not complete without Stephen. Like that was sort of the admitting that, like, I do need you. You helped me get through all those difficult times. So and them sort of stopping battling with each other. So so that was touching, and Oscar Isaac continuing to get like every ounce he can out of the script.
Yes,
like just did a fantastic job the whole time.
And there's the big battle for Earth, which I am really surprised we didn't get like more, or getting any. We probably got Easter eggs. We didn't get any cameos from any kind of like other MCU characters. I'm thinking like there's
Yeah,
something.
no one noticed the giant crocodile and like the bird skeleton like throwing down at the pyramid and all the
Yeah,
purple lights.
like
They couldn't get there fast enough.
yeah, Doctor Strange isn't kind of alerted to something going on, going like I or even Wong going, I sense a disturbance over in Egypt. We should go and investigate.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe they were busy.
Maybe they were maybe they were busy. Maybe it's going to be all mentioned over the next couple of days of us seeing it in the cinema. Who knows?
We'll see. It could tie in. Listen, I understand. You know, Hawkeye needs to get on a plane. Like,
Yes,
there's some logistics, but we got some people that can teleport anywhere on the planet.
that's true.
On deck. So where are they at? But yeah, it's that we got our big battle, right? We got we got Moon Knight versus Harrow. We got to see the cool Moon Knight flying the whole crescent moon thing with the cape.
Yeah.
Layla came into her own. She became an avatar as well.
Yeah.
Got some powers. Got a fancy new costume.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very cool to see. I really like how they shot that, where it's like it would switch from Moon Knight to Mr. Knight, like back and forth, like during the fight.
Yes.
And like it was really fun to see Steven like sort of like come into his own, right?
Yeah.
Like he had kind of done that in episode 5 as Steven, and now to see him in episode 6 as Mr. Knight and be like, no, I can do this too.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to turn it over to Mark for all this stuff all the time. Like that I very much enjoyed. It's sort of the back and forth. It's like, you flip out as the screen as one character, come back as another one. So I thought that was an inventive way to do that fight. I like that.
Yeah, there was really, really good like fight scenes as well with it. I mean, you mentioned like one of I think in one scene he grabs Mr. Knight has these kind of like batons, and I think like throws like one baton back at kind of at Harrow, and then like you then see the next thing, like I don't know if he kind of uses the staff and then bat it back at him, or kind of he throws, then he catch like kind of like smacks it back at, or something like that, and then the next thing you see the Moon Knight and Moon Knight catch it, and then kind of continue the fight sequence. There's another bit where he kind of he jumps on the car with no, that's it, and Moon Knight grabs that two of the crescent moons from his chest, jumps onto the car, throws them, and then does a kind of like a flip thing. But they're just the sequences, which is so good. I like that final battle, especially with Harrow and the staff. Was just kind of like, I don't know if it was Ethan Hawke doing a lot of the stunts himself, or it was a stunt guy, but it's just that was just so well done, very ferocious. Lots of strength, lots of aggression.
Definitely, like, Moon Knight, his comics are pretty vicious, so you're gonna get a pretty punishing throwdown.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I didn't feel bad for all the other avatars who were like, wait, someone's trying to free Ahmet? What is this?
Well,
it was like, guys, you didn't pay attention. You didn't listen to Mark. The crazy bad dude came in and said, what, me? I'm not trying to do that. And you believed him, and look what happened.
Now all your avatars are dead.
That's right. Like, you guys were a little too gullible there. So, but it was, it was, I don't know, it was good. It was a good episode. Like I said, it left me wanting more. Like, I could have used a little more time. Like, it's a lot to like say, like, all right, we're gonna escape the afterlife and defeat the two big bads all within like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if they thought that this would be like a series that would just be a one and done, because people are definitely going to be asking for more because it is really good. But it's kind of like, I know it's not sad, but it kind of feels weird that we've now ended at a point where Mark and Steven don't technically, in bunny ears, don't have the powers, because they kind of like said to Khonshu, like, we're done, but obviously Jake technically will have the powers, unless he's going to go more mob boss kind of way of dealing with it. because he uses guns. Oh, that's going to be the third, whatever it is. And then also we've got like, where could we go from here? Where would he be in an introduction into the MCU? Will Stephen and Mark go on without kind of like knowing what's happening, but they're going off to like, Jake's going off to kind of like do stuff with other people? God, there's going to be so many things to kind of think about where we go next.
Yeah, and Layla. We're assuming Layla still has her powers.
Yes.
So what can you do with her? Definitely. Like when you look at the Disney Plus shows, like WandaVision, I felt like that was an obvious stopping point for that show. Hawkeye, that they kind of wrapped things up. They had to rush it. With like Moon Knight and like Loki, like those two shows, like really felt like they need a second season. Like, not say I didn't like the shows. I did like the shows, but I wasn't satisfied with like where we stopped in the narrative, because like we're just starting to get into the Jake stuff now. Like that's a good tease, but like it seemed like Layla saw some stuff. Like, and that's definitely not resolved. And then like why is Mark in Steven's apartment at the end? Why didn't he go back to Chicago? Why did he go back to England? Like that's another question. And Layla wasn't there. Like very much seemed like those two would be back together at the end of the series, but that doesn't seem to be what happened. So questions, Rich. We have questions.
Yeah,
someone get me Mr. Feige. I need answers.
Exactly. And you kind of think, well, what is there in? I assume that Steven still has his job at the museum. So yeah, like, right, unless he's been, I can't. Did he get? He got fired.
He got fired. He got fired for destroying the bathroom.
What would really need him to return back to London? What's available in London for him? Unless, and this is a big unless, there's going to be something that kicks off with is it Secret is it called Secret Empire? Secret Invasion? Because a lot of that was filmed in the UK, so I don't know if there's going to be some tie-ins with stuff in the UK. Okay, Mark Spector and Stephen Grant, both are in the UK. So would there be some sort of tie-in here? And a lot of stuff is going to be done through Jake. Is Jake going to get involved with, I don't know, gangs in the UK or some description? Those are, again, still more questions as to what happens next. So, God, you're right, yeah.
Oh, man, I kind of want to see Stephen Grant meet a Skrull right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be a good scene.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
Are you an alien, mate?
Yeah, you an alien? Oh, you're having a laugh. You having a laugh? Right. I think that's really it. I think we've kind of like covered a good part of this show for this. What are you up to next week, Dan?
Oh man, I'm gonna try to like I said, try to get through 7.3 and really put myself closer to that first rank 4. That is the goal for this weekend. Try to make a big push.
Yeah. For me, it's a case of similar. Try to get as much done as possible. Get Karina's challenge. Have a little bit of a break because I've just been flat out with working for games developer and doing YouTube content. So I want to have a break this weekend, try and do a Karina's challenge, and then come back to next week to grind units for July 4th deals, which are coming ever closer to us. So I need lots of units and fast, so I need to grind Arena like there's no end. So good luck to everybody that's out there and is doing a grind in-game. And we'll be back with another podcast very, very soon. That'll probably be going over Multiverse of Madness, so it may be a little bit of MCOC, mainly, I don't know, Multiverse of Madness. But yeah, thanks for listening, watching, and all that stuff, and see you all soon. Bye-bye.